All right, what's going on, y'all? So I decided to fly out to Chicago and then take a trip further out to Michigan to pay homeboy right here a visit. Whoa. And I'm sorry, y'all. I just gotta let y'all know this. This is just off the break. What homegirl said about the odor in this spot, she was right, B. It stinks in here. She was right, yo. How you living, B? Was really good with you. I don't know. Anyway, you guys might be wondering, why did I decide to come ride out to have a sit down with this guy right here? It's due to his lies, him lying on me, and I decided, you know what? Let's get a little deep with this or whatever. So I'm listening to Homeboy's thing he did last night, and I guess he's playing, I don't know, his greatest misses of him talking shit about people and everything in previous live streams, stuff of that caliber. So he gets up to the tone space portion of the show, and he's saying some old bullshit about me and my girl, and I went too hard for her and all this. And then he's going on, now mind you, I never heard this before, right? And he's going on with this nonsense about I told him I wanted to commit suicide, and he's going into people why I would want to commit suicide and the type of character, and you can't be respected because you're like that and everything, and all this bullshit, total fabrications. Some stuff when we were friends that I told him over the phone. Now, we're gonna break down a few issues with this dude, right? Yeah, I'm talking to you. Listen. I know you got that like blank look in your eyes, but have your ears tuned to what I'm saying right now. Have your ears tuned. You're gonna want to hear this, right? So, a big problem with this dude is he's still a kid, and what I mean by a kid is young folks, teenagers, maybe even early 20s. They don't fucking listen, right? They think they know everything. You talk to them, and whatever you say, it doesn't compute, and they're gonna talk over you, and it's like, like a general conversational exchange. One person says their piece, the other says their piece. He'll say his piece, you'll say your piece, and it's like it doesn't even register. He's so caught in his own piece of what he wants to say or what he wants to get, what he wants to put forth. He's not gonna listen to you. I've heard this happen time and time again, even outside of myself. When I was in the little group text with the group and everything, motherfuckers will be talking to him, saying something, and then he'll reply, and it's like what they said didn't even register. And the problem is there's no growth in that. I don't know, maybe it's because of a lack of a father. I mean, I lacked a father too, so I can't even say that's an excuse. Some things you just learn and you just develop, or some things maybe you're just pre-designed to learn and develop. That's just in your genetics, in your intellect, in your personality, in your desire for expansion, desire to be like a sponge of knowledge. So you have eventually you're going to get your ears tuned, and you're going to do a lot more listening than you're going to do running your fucking mouth, right? So yeah, like even in like little group text, niggas will be saying such and such, such and such. It doesn't even compute. He goes on saying whatever he has to say. So he doesn't listen. And I think in part he actually believes the bullshit he's saying, right? So he's running this old school, this shit he did some time ago, saying that I told him I want to commit suicide and all this shit. No, I never told this guy that. Never. I'm not a suicidal person. I've never been a suicidal person. It's just not me. I'm not gonna go into. It's just not me. Anyway. In fact, I told him something that's the opposite of that. So what happened is, I had a shorty or whatever that we were politicking, boom, bap, bib. And we were talking about kids and a family and all this stuff. She's financially situated, pretty well, as she says, or whatever. And it was like the idea, right? So this idea was painted of a family. I said all this on a song we did when I was with Black Sector Mafia called A La Carte. So do some homework, refer to the song A La Carte, listen to, I think, either the first or the second half of my verse. And I basically summarize this, right? So so whatever happened, the relationship or whatever you want to call it with said shorty went sideways, right? And so I was feeling some type of way, which is cool. That's life. Everybody goes through that, right? And we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into how everybody goes through that. You feel me? So what I actually said was I'm glad I'm not them type of niggas. I'm glad I'm not them type of peoples, or I'm glad I'm too strong. I'm glad I'm not a weak type of individual. I'm glad I'm the optimistic individual that I am. Cause somebody else right now, the way that this situation feels, they may wanna, hit a bridge and, go for the gusto. You feel me? That's what I said, more or less. I actually said, I'm glad that I'm built better than to want to commit suicide. And his translation is, I got on the phone with him and told him I want to commit suicide. Total bullshit. So, what was I upset about? Because we're going to draw a correlate, if you will, between myself and the guy I'm having this odorific, this odorific sit down with, right? So, just think, listen to the a la carte verse, right? So imagine where I'm at. I'm thinking, all right, yeah, we're going to build a family. Money is well situated. Kids are going to be good. Everything's good money, yada, 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 yada. And then for whatever reason, it goes sideways, right? Which, mind you, as I look to the next room, we're going to get out of the whole pretend I'm in this crib shit. As I look to the next actual room in my actual house that I own the deed and my keys go into. And the woman that's there resting right now from sleeping because she was diligently working hard at her own business, doing her thing. It obviously turned out for the better, Now we're going to ask you, and go back into your smelly ass crib. I'm back in LA's crib. Now for you, sir, did it turn out for the better? So my situation. A theoretical family or idea of a family as it was presented, as me and Shorty at the time were talking and building about, right? It goes sideways. It's a wrap, right? So I'm feeling some type of way, right? And I expressed this. I'm not saying that I wasn't, feeling some type of way. I wasn't upset. I wasn't sad, yada, yada, yada. But I sure the fuck was not suicidal, nowhere near it. And the notion that I'll get suicidal over a break of an emotional attachment, even that is fucking crazy. We've all had relationships, we've all had girls, we've all had breakups. I'm sure all y'all watching, for the most part anyway, has been through that. And you know how that shit can feel if you're on the shit end of that stick or whatever, right? So yeah, motherfuckers are gonna feel a type of way, they're gonna feel sad or whatever, but as far as suicidal, no, I've never has a breakup with a woman ever got me in a suicidal type of funk or type of mood, right? Now, mind you, the idea of, knowing I could start a state, or the idea of being able to start a stable family with said person, sure, that adds a little more oomph into the feelings or anything or whatever, right? But still, nothing close to suicidal. However, sir, my thing was just etherical. My thing was just conceptual. This start a family with this woman, yada, yada, yada. Now it's not happening. You actually started a family, had 2 daughters with a woman that you were with for, I don't know, was it 8, 9 years, something like that? That joint went sideways. And you admitted to me that you cry yourself to sleep. Now, am I getting the words exact? I'm not saying my memory's the best, but I'm not a liar. I'm not the type of person that just makes up some shit on a motherfucker. Did you say that you only fall asleep when the last tear rolls down your face specifically? I don't know, but it was some form of you cry yourself to sleep when you lay down and the weight of the world or your daily activities and all that stuff that clutters your mind isn't there, and you just have the ever so loud sound of silence going on, you said that you cry thinking about your two daughters, thinking about your relationship with the woman and how she upped and moved on you, right? Now, here is the kicker. That in and of itself, that is nothing to be ashamed of. The L, I don't know how it comes on this camera, if it's this way or that way, but the L in you crying yourself to sleep, the L is not the fact that you currently or at one time, probably still do, cry yourself to sleep over your family up and moving on you. The L is actually in your reaction, your denial of crying yourself to sleep, acting like you're I don't know, too emotionally tough or not emotionally present enough for that to even register. Even though you show cues of it, Facebook posts where you find out one of your daughters now wears glasses, and you're like, oh, I didn't even know she wears glasses. See how it is, and you're lashing out to black women and your black women vacation, and oh, I'm through with it. You're just throwing a fit. Oh, no more black women for me. My black woman took out 2 kids and moved her ass on and shit like that. The L comes in the denial. The L comes in the fact that you have something to say about any and everybody that might be going through regular life type shit. And yet you try to crack jokes on them. You try to say that they have an L for just standard regular life stuff that everybody goes through, right? So then when it's revealed that something comparable happened to you, and that's big, losing your 2 kids and your shorty, just like snap of the fingers, Thanos snap, and they up and move and they out. There's nothing wrong with crying about that as a man. There's nothing wrong with crying yourself to sleep about that as a man, in my personal opinion. But what's not being a man is just vehemently denying it. No, I don't be crying myself to sleep. Why you lying on me, son? Da, 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 da. Knowing that you're hurting over this. You peep this? Look at you right now. Look at that look in your eyes. Look at that empty look in your eyes right now. If one had to pick which between of us ever has or had suicidal tendencies by looking into our eyes, who do you think is going to be the king and the champion of that? Even when I do the crazy eyes, who's going to lead the charge in that? Look at you. Look how your crib smells. Come on, son. But yeah, when you lashing out and throwing everyone else's lives in their face on regular shit that they may go through, or even stupid shit, niggas doodling on dicks and who got doodle on their dick and licking ass and all, from the most minute dumb shit to I don't know, the most emotionally charged activities and situations that we as people go through. You have a ha-ha, you have a laugh for that any and every time. Why? Because you're the one hurt and you're the one going through that. So that's when it becomes an L. When they find out that you actually go to sleep at night, boo-hooing yourself to sleep. Go from tears to snores like that. That's an L. Only because of the way that you behave and the way that you treat other people for their normal life shit, their normal life situations. That and thinking that anyone's gonna believe that you're so ironclad and you're so heartless and you're so much made of steel that no, I don't cry myself to sleep. I lost my family, it's whatever. Why you lying? Denial of that is a big part of why you get this right here. But you don't fucking listen. Everything, and I mean everything, that you tried to throw back in my face from I don't know, little Facebook messages or whatever our exchange was, whether it was text or Facebook voice things, you've contorted every single one of those, all of them. You said this, you said that. I'm like, no, I didn't. A couple of them were just straight up blatant lies that doesn't even have any premise or origin in any truth. But this one right here, I literally told this man the opposite. I'm glad I'm too strong for that. Did I admit to some emotional feelings? Absolutely. Am I ashamed of that? Absolutely not. But also, if I were to rock with pride, you know, I'm also happy and content in the fact, and I still stand on this, that I'm built for tough, that I'm built too strong to want to feel like taking my own life over some shit. Even if I went through what you went through, I highly doubt that I'd be ready to just give it all up. Matter of fact, I know for sure I wouldn't be ready to just give it all up over that. The very woman in the next room, you could ask her how I am emotionally, how I'm pretty happy-go-lucky. You know, I'm not saying that, I'm not trying to act like this nigga, like I'm too strong for any regular life shit and, you know, things can't affect me and all that bullshit. And that's what I be talking about, is that bullshit. You're like a kid and you're an idiot. And just like any idiot, you don't listen, you don't compute, you don't grow. You have no development. You don't allow yourself the opportunity to develop. You don't allow your ears enough to suck up real game from the world, because you come with this assumption that you're already on top and you know more than them. But then when you speak, you talk about stupid shit. You talk about shit niggas been talking about for like decades. Is it because you're from some like small backwards ass town or whatever and you just haven't been exposed to shit? I'm sure that's part of it. But part of it is just in something inside you that just stunted and continues to stunt your growth or your potential growth. The closest thing, because someone close to me said something like, yeah, you know, a long time ago you were on some want to take your life shit. I don't remember any of that shit. Like as a kid, like, I don't know, teens, maybe even early 20s, they said something like, oh yeah, you know, you was on some shit like that too back then or whatever. I don't remember that shit. I know emotionally and deep inside I've never been on it like that. But have I been through things where I felt different? Because this is what this close person to me said. They said that, yeah, you wanted to take your life because you felt you were so much different from everyone else, you know, and stuff like that. Now, we're going to play this clip real quick. Check this out. And it's going to correlate to what I'm talking about right now. Where's this clip? Listen to this. This is this guy right here.
Woke is such a lonely place. Here's up. Just imagine if you woke up tomorrow and the whole world is still asleep in their bed and they just didn't wake up. All day long, they just didn't wake up. They were just all asleep. And you were just walking around alone and nobody wanted to wake up. You knew the people house trying to shake them. They wouldn't wake up. That's what it's like to be woke. Because it's like everybody else, they robots. They're like robots. And a lot of these people have really got worse. And it seems like they've been reprogrammed even deeper into the system since the jab.
All right, nice talk. Anyway, to correlate with what I'm talking about now, this was me, let's say 20, 25 years ago. That conversation I had with the loved one and me talking about how I feel different from everyone. It was just like that. As a teenager, as a young adult, finding myself, learning the world, reading, examining things through a lens that most of the people in the world just walk around and don't examine. You know that term, woke? I can't stand that term. But starting my quest of awakening which is an ever long quest. I don't believe in the concept of anyone being awakened. It's a lifelong process. It's a journey. It's not a destination. So that whole idea of woke, that suggests that, again, suggests that you know it all and other people don't know shit. So as a young adult, late teens, maybe early 20s, a certain depth, a certain outside of the whole fun and games of the teenager and the young adult and the partying and the clubbing and the drinking and smoking and everything, I was comparable to where this guy took him becoming 46 years old to and so terribly, what they say, wax philosophical about everyone else, or a lot of the world, or the lot of the masses being like robots or automatons, while you're seeing things in the world and you're seeing programming and stuff. This is where I was as a young adult, and I'm not bragging on it. You watching right now, whoever you are, you probably as a young adult came to this revelation, if you will, yourself. A lot of us have. It didn't take us until up into our 40s to come to this. By this time, been there, done that, got the t-shirt. It's already part of our character. We've learned to live with that. We've learned to engage, and we've learned, like this guy said, yeah, I can't even be friends with everyone because they're already asleep and everything. And that's probably why they all call you a weirdo. We've been through that already. We've been through that decades ago. And we still manage to navigate the world, stay conscious, or stay on our ever quest for ever expanding consciousness, and still engage with society, and still politics, still socialize, still party, still have our friends that, different categories of our friends. Our friends we could have those deep conversations with, that's still our people, we love them. Our family, still our people, we love them. And then we got our people that we can get further or deeper with, because they in their teens and early 20s came through the same type of thoughts and ideas that we had. In fact, lifelong friends. We were building off each other in our teens, and they were also feeling, I guess, depressed, if you will, back then due to the ills and shit like that of the world and all that stuff. The shit that took this man up into his 40s, mid 40s, mind you, to express anything like this. But this is what happens when your ears are closed, when your mouth is always open, humming, breath kicking, when you're always running your mouth, and people are giving you feedback and they're saying things and you're not listening. They're bringing concepts to you. They're talking about this. They might even be talking about things about themselves, and you hear what you want to hear. And then when you throw a fit because you're mad they're not friends with you or whatever, now, like a bitch, you want to play audio, or why don't you play the audio of me saying I want to kill myself? How about that? Side note, right? Or text or whatever it was, right? Side note. But now you want to throw shit back in their face and remix it. Why? Because you weren't listening in the fucking first place. It's terrible. I was listening. I heard this guy essentially say that he cries himself to sleep at night due to the loss of his main woman, or woman, wife, whatever you want to call her, and 2 children. This is real. Denying it does not, admitting to that in and of itself does not make one weak. But I guess you got to do that when you're throwing everybody else's life back at them and everything. I guess you have no choice but to deny it, but to say, nah, that ain't it. But we know you're hurting. We can look in your eyes. That's why it's gold. And I'm not saying it's gold to see somebody hurting, but I mean, your gold, or just you yourself, just your whole physical appearance, that shit is awesome. And you know what I mean when I say that shit is awesome. That's awesome to the funny bone all day. That is endorphins released all day. Just seeing you physically, funniest shit in the world. And we're not done. I'm going to do a movie review of a movie review where we get more of this pure comedy, this pure gold that is this guy. You know, his whole physical makeup and shit. I'm glad you stay on camera. I'm glad I trolled you into getting on camera by being on camera and saying you don't do it. Because there's a time you wasn't on camera like that. I said a couple things, and now next thing he's a guy smiley or some shit. Always on the motherfucker. Please stay on camera. It's beautiful. It's great. I ain't saying you're beautiful now, because I know how you like to do popping your thing and niggas and none of that, right? But, and I'm sure people that have spoken to this guy, leave it below in the comments if you've spoken to this guy and you can attest to the fact that he hears what he wants to hear, that he doesn't listen, he doesn't have his ears in tune to hear. He thinks he's the most awesome shit in the world. He thinks, oh, I'm amazing. People love talking to me. No, you love to hear yourself talk. And it's to the point where engaging with him, you kind of have to build up a straw man or a straw woman for y'all ladies out there and engage. You can't even just really open yourself up on some real shit because he's not there for it. He's there to hear his own words reverberate. You know what I'm saying? He's there to tell you about how he's the shit in so many words. And that's not to knock any accomplishments anyone has. There's a lot of people that are accomplished, or they have some sway, they have some panache to themselves. But you know what? The people that really have that, they're going to be the people that's more going to have their ears open to hear what other people have to say, because all of that panache and that swagger, if you will, and that confidence and everything, that was built off of tuned ears, off of learning, off of soaking up real game. This other shit, this just running your mouth and holier than thou type shit and don't really give a fuck what you're saying, gonna hear only what I want to hear and translate it through my simple idiot mind type shit, that's fake. It's all in the eyes, Chico. Anyway. Oh. Another cue, and mind you, when I said that thing about him crying himself to sleep at night, I'm not the type to just be putting out people's personal shit. That was only a clapback. And it was mainly a clapback just due to him lying. Of him saying shit I told him, but then contorting it and twisting it into a lie. So I said, you know what? Let me bang you in the head with some truth. And bang you in the head with another piece of truth. Which makes me think that he really be thinking he believes the shit that he translates. One time this nigga left me a voice note out of nowhere too. I'm just chilling and I hear this voice message from him. It was something to the effect of, yeah, Tone, I know what you're going through. I be going through shit too, depressed and shit. I could relate to that. If you want to talk about stuff. I don't know if he said if you want to talk about stuff. I'm kind of paraphrasing. I think he said something like that. But I was like, where the fuck did that come from? I was like, well, damn. I think I replied something like, okay, cool. Yeah, if you ever want to talk to me about some shit too, I'm all ears. Cool. But I was chilling. I was happy. I'm like, the fuck is this nigga talking about? Why is he of the impression that I just walk around solemn and glum all the time on some other type of shit? I'm like, what? Hindsight is 20/20. This nigga's ears aren't open. He's only gonna hear what he wants to hear, and he's gonna try to throw it back on some straight up lying shit. But yeah, I said the opposite. I'm glad I'm built tougher than the one yada yada yada. But I empathize. I don't even know if I can empathize because you actually lost a family. I empathize as much as I can empathize from that etherical family that I lost, and I'm laughing about it because whatever, dumb shit. But no, you actually went through that. Not saying your kids are lost forever. You're still their father and everything, but as far as seeing them grow and develop and everything, ain't shit wrong with crying yourself to sleep. It's only something wrong if you trying to front and say, oh no, I don't do shit like that. And try to clap at others for whatever life scenarios and situations that they go through. But I just wanted to come up on here and clear the air about that dumb shit. But more actual gold with this guy coming soon. That's why I got the red on. Oh man, I love this hoodie. I got this hoodie in Germany, but I'm in red for a reason. I'm gonna do a movie review on a movie review in a minute. Peace.